All right, y'all, here we are. This is the most discussed topics that I've ever had. It's who's a legend. Now, it's, when you think about it, it may be somebody that you like personally, but that person isn't a legend. For instance, you may have someone in a sports activity. I'll give you an example. They had a guy named Sam Cassell, and you're probably going to get where I'm going with this. He won 2 championships in a row with the Houston Rockets. Is he a legend? You don't even know who he is. He was a starter. It wasn't like he was a bench player. They have bench players that win championships in sports. And they're bench players, but they still win the championship. They got bench players that win 3 and 4 rings sometimes if you play for the Patriots. So, are those players legends because they win championships? No. If you win a championship, that doesn't make you a legend. Legends is, I'm gonna give you the definition of a legend, or what the dictionary says the definition of a legend is. A legend of based on or discussed in legend. What that means is when you're sitting around the dinner table and you're discussing, we're talking about in the survivor world, okay? Not in the real world. We're talking about our community. When you're sitting at the dinner table and you're discussing who's a legend, or you're discussing just a random player, and you seem to keep talking about this player time and time again. When Survivor's gone, when it's gone, everything's done, 100 years from now, when they talk about this show that changed TV forever, and then they start talking about these players, they're going to talk about, that's the discussion in legend. When you're discussing it and you're trying to say, oh yeah, this person, and yeah, I remember this person, and they did this, this person did this, and that's a legend. It's also, let me give you a few little words that they describe legends. Romantic, yes, you can say romantic. They got some romantic things. Maybe not in the world of Survivor, but that's one of the worlds. Storybook. Who's a storybook character? There's a few of them. We're about to talk about a few right now. Mythical, traditional. That's legends. Who made the tradition? Who can you think about that's traditional with Survivor, that's mythical with Survivor? There's a few. It is also somebody that's extremely well known, legend, famous, or renowned. You see where I'm going with this. You have to be renowned. You have to be, mythical, traditional, storybook. So that's what we're going to talk about. I know I'm going to leave some out that you think are legends. I know that's going to happen, especially on the guy's side. The guy's side, for some reason, it's just I could find a lot of them that probably should be, but they aren't. On the female side, it was harder for some reason for me to try to break down the legends. It was just harder for me to do. And as I read some of the comments on my last post, it seems like it's difficult for a lot of you to do. So we're going to try to break that down. This is going to be a 2-part series in the top 10. This is top 20, but the first part series is going to be a top 10, my first top 10 legends, and then below it's going to be the next 10. So it's going to be 20, 10 males, 10 females. I'm not going to put these in order. So just because I say this is number 10, this is number 1, it doesn't mean that number 1 is like the best legend. I'm just going to throw the names down on a piece of paper, and then wherever they lay, they lay. So a legend is a legend. I'm not numbering the legends. I'm just going to number it just so we can keep this in order for now. So we're going to start with me. I hate to do these things and put my own name in things, but I've been reading the comments, and more than 75% of the people think that I should be in the legend season. Now, I did some things that nobody's ever done before. I think that people talk and when they're big Survivor fans, they talk around the dinner table about Russell Hantz. I think it would be insane, just like I thought it would be insane if I didn't play in a season called Game Changers. So I would think it would really be insane if I didn't play in a season called Legends. I hate to be self-righteous. It sounds like I'm self-righteous. I don't want it to come out like that, but I'm going to put my name in the top 10 guys that should be on the Legends list. I mean, if you think I'm wrong, if you think I'm not a legend, then please comment below and tell me why. I would love to hear why you think I'm not a legend, because if you can explain it to me, then I'll accept it. Let me know. If I'm not a legend, if you don't think I'm a legend, tell me that you don't think I'm a legend, but you explain it. Just say you're not a legend. Explain it to me. Explain why I'm not. Okay, we'll move on from that. I wanted to go ahead and get my name off the list so we can just move on and start talking about the people that I think that should be on the list and that should definitely play if there's a legend season. Obviously, we have Rob. Rob is a legend. People think I hate the guy. I don't like the guy in Survivor. I don't mind the guy in real life. I don't really know him. Doesn't matter, right? But in the game of Survivor, he comes at me. If he comes at me, I have to get him out of there. That's how it works. But Rob, Boston Rob, is definitely a legend. Now, if they did a legend season, would he play again? That's a question. I don't think he will. I think that this is his last go-around. I never believed it. This time I believe it. I believe that Rob will never play the game again, even if they do Legends. I don't think he's going to do well what he's doing right now. I just don't think he's going to do well. So because of that, if he did Legends, he's going to go early too. I'm letting him know that. If you do Legends, I'm coming for you. So I don't think he's going to risk just going home right off the bat. I might give him fuel to play again. I don't know. Hey, come play. Because this time, welcome to the big leagues, boy. Yeah, you're playing me now face to face when we know each other. Come on, come play if you think you're bad. But I don't think he's going to play again. He looks terrible. If you've seen the commercials in the recent 39, he doesn't look like he's ready to do anything like this. Look at me 10 years later. Do I look that bad? He looks like he's all, I don't know, he just looks bad. Okay, so maybe I just convinced him to play again. So come on, let's do this. Now, we have Coach. In the description of legends, in the dictionary, they have mythical, storybook. Is that not Coach? Can you not? You have to remember Coach. You cannot forget the Dragon Slayer. You will never forget the Dragon Slayer. Ever. Ever. Coach, I don't care if you don't like the guy. If you're bitter towards people and you're just sitting on the couch watching Survivor and you're literally bitter towards people, then that's your own personal problem. But if you can't see a legend, if you can't actually see it and say, yeah, I don't like the guy. I just said Rob's a legend. You know, I didn't have to say that. The girls' side, you know who I'm going to say. I'm not, just because I don't get along with the person in the game doesn't mean that you can't include them in something like this, a list like this. So I know a lot of people don't like Coach, but Coach is 100% a legend. I wish some people would shut up right now. They're cutting the grass. I don't like it. I don't know if you can hear that. I can hear it. I don't like it. Stop cutting the grass. Now, we're going to move on. Stop moving my camera. I'm going to keep going. I don't care if I just talk louder than they cutting. So now we have James. James Clements. Yes. James was 2-time fan favorite. There was only one other 2-time fan favorite, and that's yours truly. If you can remember James being super popular when he played, the Gravedigger, James looked like a sculpture. I mean, he was super popular. You cannot forget James. I think James, it would be ridiculous if they had somebody like Jeremy out there instead of James. That wouldn't make sense to me. James is by far the top of the big, the shredded type, mean, bad, tough. James is on top of that list. So James, for sure, should be in the legend season. And if you don't agree on that, I want to know why too. Okay, next guy, Ozzy. See, I'm not even going to do numbers. I started with numbers, but I'm not even going to do numbers. I'm just going to name them out. It doesn't make sense to do numbers. So, Ozzy is like a monkey. You can't. I mean, the dude. If they had Survivor Olympics, he would have won all the gold. He's the Michael Phelps of Survivor. That dude. He's amazing when it comes to challenges. He sticks on the tree like he's glue. Nobody can beat him in anything. The dude goes to Redemption Island just to. He put his game on the line because he knew he had confidence that he was going to keep winning. I'm coming back in the game because you ain't beating me. That's pretty legendary. Who would do that? Ozzy would do that. So Ozzy is 100% on this list. He is a monster when it comes to challenges. I know they have other people out there that are great in challenges, but Ozzy was the first monster beast challenge in the game. And I know you might say Kobe and people like that, but no, they don't come close to Ozzy. And he's a legend in my mind. And I don't really know the guy that well, but he's still a legend. All right, we're going with the girls. 5 girls, and then later on you can check out the other 5 down there. The other 5 guys down there, you're going to want to hear that, I'm sure. Now, number 1, the original, Black Widow, Jerry. I say number 1, but like I said, no numbers. Jerry is the original Black Widow. I can remember thinking, oh, she's, I wonder if I'm ever going to meet her, or when I knew I was about to play season 19, first time I was about to play, I was about to go out there. I'm watching seasons, and I knew Jerry, and I wasn't even a big fan of Survivor, but I knew Jerry. So I was like, well, I wonder if I'll ever meet her. Obviously, I met her, so that happened. Jerry is a legend. All right. The next one, Suri. Jeff said himself. It came out of his mouth. Suri is a legend. I believe Suri is a legend. She's a great player. She's way better than you guys even realize. Well, you may realize she's a great player. She sits out there and she makes big strategic moves without it seeming like it's her, without hurting anybody's feelings. She's a great player. She can control the game without even hurting people's feelings. Now that's very hard for me to do because I'm an aggressive controller. She's a silent controller. So Suri's definitely a legend. Next one, Amanda. Amanda played back-to-back. She was super popular, just like James, because they did the things together. And no way you can say Amanda's not a legend. You're sitting there like, Amanda's not a legend. You know Amanda, don't you? Amanda is a legend. For sure. We'll go ahead and leave it like that. The next one is a name that I probably don't even have to say. She's a legend. And it's Parvati. She's one of the greatest female players to ever play the game. Depending on what happens right now, she may become one of the greatest to ever play. Depending on what happens now. It's this season that y'all hear a lot about. There's a lot of rumors about rumor season. If that's real and if that's possible, or if that's happening or happened, then and it, depending on how these people do, right? It's depending on a lot of them can become legends just like that, and all of a sudden, bam, they're a legend. I don't think someone like Sarah or Sophie can become a legend if they win the same way they won last time, right? They're now this gets fun. This last one is the one y'all been waiting on, and her name is Sandra. Now, Sandra, when I started this, I talked about a guy named Sam Cassell that won 2 championships. You knew I was talking about Sandra. He won 2 championships. He's not a legend. Right now, Sandra's a legend. She's the only 2-time winner. She has to be. Right now, she's a legend. She came back. She fell on her face. She come back again in winners. If she falls on her face again, she's no longer, first of all, she's no longer the 2-time winner, okay? There will be another 2-time winner that takes her place. Let's say it's Sophie. If it's Sophie, then is she a legend? Does that make everybody that wins twice legends automatically? No, it does not. I don't care what you say. She did nothing to become, at that time, when that happens, and it will happen, because I know she's not going to do well, then is she a legend? Is she a legend anymore? Right now she is. But she may be taken off this list. You can be taken off. Some can be taken off the list. Some can't. She can. Because let's say they have Survivor 100, and you have 10 people that's won twice. And then she played, and she goes home every time she goes home before the merge. She's not. It takes her off the list. I think her wins are the luckiest to ever be in Survivor. And I think that if she falls on her face in winter season, then she is not a legend. Now, if people like Tony wins, he's not a legend right now. If people like Tony wins, then he's a legend. If people like Tyson wins, I think Tyson's on the border right now without playing. If he falls on his face, then it start tilting more to not. If he does really well, he's definitely a legend, because right now, in my opinion, he's on the border. They have people like Joe, Malcolm, Cochran, people that you know, people that you're going to wonder why is not on the list. I'll tell you right now, they're not on the list. They have other people. The 10 guys were super hard to add players like that on the list. You cannot tell me that Joe or Malcolm or Cochran, people like that, are better or legendary than Coach, than James, than Ozzy, than Rob, than me. You can't tell me. So those players, they're at the bottom of my list. They're there. They could be. You could consider them some legends, but I'm only doing 10 right now. 10 guys, 10 girls. So that's all I have right now for this. Comment below. I know you will. Tell me what you think the next 10 is going to be. I'm about to do the next 10, and let me know. I'm not going to do it today. Stop doing that, because I'm sure that's messing up everything. So comment, like it. Please subscribe. We are almost at 10,000 subscribers. I've only really started doing this. It's only been a month that I really dove into this and started doing it regularly. So we're almost at 10,000 subscribers. If you haven't subscribed yet, please do. It's a lot of fun. We have the next 10 coming soon. I hope you like this one. Keep hope alive.